So, Reiner de versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez has been cancelled due to an injury suffered by Anthony Hernandez. So, best wishes to Anthony Hernandez. Hopefully, he recovers well. But thankfully, we got a replacement. Maybe not the fight that people were expecting to see, especially when it comes to replacements. It's a weird one. We got Brendan Allen stepping in here, but it's a good fight, and I feel like it potentially could open up what's going to be next for the middleweight division. Obviously, Reiner de coming off that win over Robert Whittaker. So obviously, this feels like a big step back for him. He beat the former UFC middleweight champion. Now you're getting Brendan Allen, who's just coming off, who's 1-2 in his last three. So yeah, it's a weird fight. Brendan Allen is also stylistically could give him some problems. Also pretty funny. Only one person on Tapology has picked the fight. But I feel like stylistically, Brendan Allen can give Brandon Dorita some problems here. So this is like sort of a tough fight on short notice, but I also think it's still a pretty good fight for Reiner Dorita, of course. But what makes this all interesting is Nasser Namavov. I feel like this opens up that Nasser Namavov has to be next, right? Can you really give Reiner Dorita the title shot for beating Brendan Allen? I don't know if you can. There's two ways the UFC might look at this. They might go, Reiner Dorita, he just beat Brendan Allen, which isn't like amazing win. Like no offense to Brendan Allen, but it's not really a title fight winning win. Now maybe if he gets a crazy performance, they can do it. Maybe that's how this will work out. Maybe Reiner Dorita goes in there, KOs Brendan Allen out cold, and like, all right, you got to give him the next title shot. Maybe he subs Brendan Allen, which would be pretty impressive. But I think this leads it to be that Amavov has just beat Kybrello, who's a proper top 5 contender at the moment. He beat Israel Adesanya by KO. I feel like this leads it to go, all right, Amavov gets the next title fight. I think that's what this leads to, in my opinion, to be honest. I think Nazareth Amavov will get the next title shot. And I feel like there's no other option at this point. Reiner Dorita is good. He's on a good win streak. But I feel like he beats Brendan Allen. You give him the next one after you give him the Amavov winner. I don't think you rebook. Like, what if RDR wins this and they go, all right, we're going to rebook him versus Fluffy? Like, that would be a waste of time, So I feel like he wins this fight, and then they probably give him the next title shot for the winner of Amavov versus Chimaev. I think that makes sense. But I do want to say, I do actually like that if I got cancelled. I don't like that Fluffy got injured, but I was really annoyed that they booked Fluffy versus RDR, because both of them are the only two interesting fights for Khamzat Chimaev, I feel like. I think Amavov is going to get mauled very easily by Khamzat Chimaev. I think he's going to go out there. I think he's going to destroy him on the ground. I think he's going to sub him or TKO him on the ground early. Well, I feel like RDR and Fluffy can actually give Chimaev some problems. I think Chimaev would probably still beat them both. But it'd be a bit more interesting, in my opinion. This makes things a bit more interesting in the division. We get Amavov versus Chimaev, which, Dagestani versus Chechen. You don't really see them type of fights very often, so that makes things pretty interesting in that department. Khamzat does have a win over a Dagestani and Ikram Aliskirov, where he went out there and chinned him with an uppercut in the first round. I don't think that'll be the case here. I don't think he's going to go out and knock Amavov out on the feet. I think he will wrestle to a victory here, get a submission probably, or even just get a late TKO. I think he's got the better cardio than Amavov, which people might think, oh, that's recency bias, But I don't think Amavov has very good cardio. I know he went 5 rounds and he won against Kybrello, but it was a very low-paced fight. Different stylistic matchup against Khamzat Chimaev. But for Reiner Dorita versus Brendan Allen, this is how I see the fight playing out. I think Brendan Allen's going to have some success early. Also worth mentioning, they both trained at Sanford MMA, or I should say Killcliff. They keep changing their name. So they apparently haven't trained together very often. That's what Brendan Allen said. But, they trained at the same gym. I guess Reiner Dorita's probably training at a different gym for this fight because they're teammates. But I find it very interesting. Both good grapplers. Brendan Allen's well-rounded enough where he can give Reiner some problems, especially with the striking defense. Like GM3 was catching him a lot, and he's trains with GM3. They both train at Killcliff now, actually, as well. I don't think GM3 was at Killcliff at the time, but he might have. I could be wrong there. But Brendan Allen, he could honestly have some success on the feet. He might be the better striker with open space strikes, but Reiner Dorita is so good in the clinch. I think he's going to knee up the body of Brendan Allen. I think he's going to hurt him a lot. I think his funky, unorthodox striking will actually catch Brendan Allen. And Brendan Allen's been caught a lot of times. I don't think Brendan Allen has a great chin. He's been knocked out by Chris Curtis. Got knocked out by Sean Strickland, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. Sean Strickland doesn't really out-cold people like that. And the reach Reiner Dorita's got a big reach here. I think he's going to be able to land some pretty funky, unorthodox strikes. And I think he's got the better cardio. I think he'll be able to break Brendan Allen a little bit with the pace, the knees to the body. I think eventually he's going to get a TKO on Brendan Allen. So that's how I'm going to have this fight going. I'm going to say Reiner Dorita gets a TKO, maybe even a KO. He's got the power to hurt him badly, We've seen him badly hurt people with his strikes. He's got weird power. He's got that weird lanky power, does Reiner Dorita. And I think he could land something that, changes like how Brendan Allen reacts to these strikes. I think he could hurt him. The knees to the body are going to be big here. They're always going to be big in RDR fights. And also the thing we got to factor in is Brendan Allen has very low fight IQ. He will probably try and grapple with Reiner Dorita. He's going to get caught in like a guillotine or a DAS. Like, that is just a Brendan Allen thing to do. He'll be winning on the feet and he'll be like, oh, I'm Brendan Allen. I'm going to shoot a takedown and get DAS'd out cold. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Some point in time, he's going to shoot, get into a bad position. He's either going to get TKO'd or subbed. But yeah, still respect to Brendan Allen for taking the short notice fight. Most people wouldn't. But yeah, let me know who you guys have winning this fight. I really like Reiner Dorita here. I don't think it's a gimme fight, though. A lot of people acting like, oh, this is like an easy win for him. Brendan Allen is very good. He's all in, as you see from his nickname. All in Brendan Allen. But I like Reiner Dorita here. But anyway, let me know who you guys have winning. Thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to the Mixed Martial Artist, the single member of the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed my live stream. I'm going to be going live a bit more. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Catch you guys next time.